Actually, road to the regional qualifiers for M19 was quite surprising. They didn't play that good, I believe, on the previous tournaments, but this crusade was quite successful and quite surprising for a lot of people, especially when they managed to beat Double Dimension in the finals.
5
This is the
seconds remaining.
qualifiers.
I think all of the teams on the qualifiers was it was kind of even, most of them. But for sure, whether or not M19 went through, I think most people would have expected them to do badly afterwards. Like in the regional qualifiers, no matter what, they would be expected to do poorly.
Dire team ban.
Both Double Dimension and M19, that is, and well, also if some of the other qualified teams would go through, like G5 or whatever.
Radiant team ban.
They are undefeated, so they're proving people wrong. You know, they're winning everything.
Yeah, actually.
10 seconds remaining.
5-0, yeah, 5-0. They have won almost everything, and they have won most of the good teams. I believe the toughest opponent they have yet is going to be Empire, which is going to be today. But they have beaten a lot of other good teams. They beat Vega, I believe, which was also one of the teams that, at least I would expect, would do very well, but they have been a little bit wobbly. Gambit, I believe, as well, they've gone through, and well, then there's all of the other teams. Comanche not really having too much right now, but I think most people expected teams like Comanche to not have too much fun, because it was a roster that got changed a lot. They haven't done well lately, and it was an invited team, so it was like, okay, they're probably gonna do poorly. Cyber Anji was actually a team that most would expect to do well, but they have not really had a fun time so far. I think they're like 1-3 right now. One 4.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so it's not you know, I guess one of the like middle teams, but they have to win pretty much everything today for this to be able to pull something back, right? So Cyber Anji, they have to pull it out of the bag. Hopefully they've gotten a good night's sleep, and then they're ready for day 2 and all that good stuff. In terms of bans and picks, we see the Clockwork Night Stalker being removed from Cyber Anji, Nyx and Io from M19, and this is pretty much what's been happening in the CIS qualifiers the whole time. You have these 4 roaming support heroes, the Sand King, Nyx, Night Stalker, and Clockwork, and first phase either picked or banned, always, pretty much. So Sand King first pick, Spirit Breaker plus Darkseid from M19, a little offlane duo. Not necessarily offlane duo, since the Spirit Breaker can go pretty much wherever he wants to, but he can abuse the Iron Shell very nicely.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go about it. I mean, Sand King is always a good roamer, just on his own, of course. The biggest thing you have to worry about when you're Cyber Anji right now is how you deal with the Darkseid, because you usually want to, very early in the draft, make sure you get one of the heroes that can deal with the Darkseid, unless you want to go for like a 5th pick surprise pick. Juggernaut is usually like the go-to hero, of course. Maybe not so fun against Spirit Breaker, because that's usually why you want to pick the Spirit Breaker. It's a beefy hero, it's a bash hero, so he doesn't really care about the spin. But they go for it anyways, so they make sure that the safe lane is going to be a lane that gets farm. And, well, that's pretty much what the Jug is here for, right?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how they want to deal with the Spirit Breaker, because the way I see it is, Sanking is very good against Spirit Breaker if you can force the Spirit
10
Breaker
seconds
to
remaining.
follow the Sanking around, because you can just bar strike him whenever he charges, right? So it
5
makes it hard for the
seconds
Spirit Breaker.
remaining.
But if the lane is too weak in the safe lane, then the Spirit Breaker will just sit there the whole
Reserve
time
time.
and pressure the Juggernaut, and then the Sanking is going to play that defensive role where he has to try and help the Juggernaut, and that's not really what you want to do with the Sanking. You want him to just be on the other lanes, make chaos happen and whatnot. So we'll see if M19 can force something, but ban out the Magnus. Lycan gets removed by side ban. She also one of the bigger picks. Very annoying against Juggernaut, of course, because it's a hero with multiple units, and it's a hero that doesn't care about the Juggernaut. He just runs him down. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to escape.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Something.
10 seconds remaining.
Warlock.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, Lifesteal is kind of both ways kind of hero against Juggernaut. Of course, decent against Sand King, and it's an Infest Bomb with Spirit Breaker. Maybe not one of the more popular
seconds
ones, but it can work. Can also work with the Darkseer if you go for the classic mechanism into Blink build, and like 20 to 25 minutes into the game, you have an Infest Bomb with that as well.
Time.
And that's also the mid heroes, of course. I mean, you can pick your Puck, you can pick your Queen of Pain or whatever, and then you can do that. So there's multiple ways to go about it. They pick up the Warlock, so another hero that doesn't care too much about the Juggernaut spin. I like the way they draft around this with the supports from M19, because both of the supports is, first of all, very difficult to kill for the Jug in the early game and the mid game, because spin is not enough to kill any of them. They have lots of heals, they have lots of HP, and they both have BKB piercing ultimates, so that's going to be an issue.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Yeah, I like the Puck a lot, because I feel like you don't need a lot of stuns when you have Surge, Iron Shell, and all of this good stuff, but you need just like that one stun that can keep them in place, so you can just run at them and kill them, right? You just need that one person who can stun them, and Puck is just like, you put Dream Call, then the Darkseer and the Spirit Breaker, they just go to work, right?
Of pain. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I'm a little bit curious to see the Razor being picked now. I feel
Reserve time.
like we talked about, I feel like picking the Puck seems a little bit more important than picking the Razor right now, because the Puck just fits so well with that draft, right? And the Razor is like, it's not a bad hero, but it doesn't feel like Razor is like a straight up counter to anything from Cyber Anji this game. It just feels like it's a good safe lane carry. Like, it's a carry that doesn't need too much help, and that's pretty much the only thing they have picked it for. It does make it very hard for Anji to pick their offlaner, because most often heroes do not want to be against Razor, but that's pretty much the only thing they have from that pick. So I feel like you rather want to risk Razor being banned rather than the Puck being banned.
Dire team pick.
Well, I mean, Lina and Puck is in a lot of ways, it's kind of the same thing in the mid lane. It's two heroes that can play against the Queen of Pain without too much trouble. Like, it's an even lane matchup.
5 seconds
and they both bring those stuns we were talking about. The Lina is the most scary one in terms of like late game carrying as well, which is maybe well, in most cases, you actually do want to have a mid laner who can take over when the racer starts falling behind. So I guess Selena could be an obvious choice for that, but the puck still seems fine. The only issue with the puck is once you get past 30 minutes, then I mean, race and puck versus Jug Queen of Pain. Then it starts not being so fun for M19. But apart from that,
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
offlane hero of choice. Well, okay.
Radiant
What
team
was
picked.
offlane? What are you talking about? I think that's supposed. So they put the Sankey in the offlane, and they pick a Chen. Okay. That's a very wild card pick in my eyes. What they picked the Chen for is lane stability, I
10
suppose,
seconds
because
remaining.
I don't feel like they have. I mean, they have okay push. Chen plus
5
Juggernaut is
seconds
definitely
remaining.
something they can work with. But more than anything, I think the Chen is just because they know that the Spirit
Reserve
Breaker
time.
will try to cause as many issues on every lane as possible. So if they can just have a Chen walking around with those annoying creeps to secure a couple of lanes, then maybe also secure a couple of early towers. Why not? Mech carry as well, which is always nice just to take a little bit of that damage away from the iron shells in the team fight. Getting like a mechanism, the ultimate heal from the Chen, maybe even a pipe at some point, or Aghanim Scepter for some of the ancient creeps. Not necessarily a bad hero, just not a hero we see too often because kind of fallen out of flavor. Sanking offlane. Well, like I said, no one really wants to be against Razor in the lane as an offlane hero, so Sanking is maybe one of the more. It's probably going to be more of a I don't want to be in the lane, I rather want to roam Sanking, but we'll see what he does with the Sanking.
Maybe quite good with Chen. He counter Spirit Breaker quite well. And great pickup of a Dragon Knight for lane. He got quite a lot of sustain. Maybe he won't suffer that much against Chen and San Quap in mid. Always is going to be a burst with Breathfire. Spirit Breaker joining the lane. But which pick are you favoring more now?
I like the DK pick. Like talking about the puck again, if they were to pick up the puck, the issue would be that you don't really have the greatest tower
10
push until
seconds
Razor gets
remaining.
Aghanims, which is fairly late in the game normally. So DK, you can push early
5
towers
seconds
yourself.
remaining.
Just need to get that level 6. Like you said, it's a good matchup against the Queen of Pain. I believe once you're like past level 3, the Queen of Pain's Shadow Strike harassment actually doesn't do anything to DK anymore. Chen can't really make good rotations to kill him because he's so tanky, so it's a fairly stable hero. It's hard to say which team I favor the most. I guess it comes down to winning the lanes, and from what I see, M19 have the stronger lanes. Like, you have a Razor safe lane against the Sanking, he should have no problem even in a one-on-one situation. The Spirit Breaker plus Darkseid dual offlane is going to be very scary to deal with, no matter how many heroes you put up there. So when you're what's it called? When you're Cyber Anji right now, I am praying a lot for them to get some good creeps with that Chen very, very fast, because it's all about that Chen to be able to make their lanes work out. And that's why it's always one of those very, very risky picks, because if you get bad creeps on a hero like Enchantress or Chen, you're on unlucky camps, you don't get what you want to be able to gank the lanes, then very, very quickly you become a hero that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that's the problem. Feels like Anji are falling behind too hard. Earlier you mentioned the Juggernaut and Queen of Pain seems like reasonable picks who would be much stronger, but with the Chen pick they kind of limited, it feels like, the timing to win the game.
Yep, and bottom lane we see the Spirit Breaker moving Misha. We did see the Chen putting down that Observer Ward. They most likely will be able to grab him, but the Chen actually also put down a Sentry to block the small camp, so they will have to commit, I believe. I mean, they can actually remove both wards if they put the Sentry properly, so hopefully. Looks like Muro's going to put it a little bit too much to the... Yeah, he's not going to get... They're actually going to ping it. Okay, it's
30 seconds to battle.
They will figure it out later. Maybe just buy another Sentry, but at least getting the Observer Ward is still worth something, making sure the hard camp is not blocked. Chen trying to limit the amount of farm they can get in that safe lane.
Alright, let's see how they're laning this. And they actually putting Doxia against Sand Kings. A wise choice in their trial laning with Warlock, Spirit Breaker, and Razor on top lane, so they know that there is a weak lane from side of Anji. Disruptor and Juggernaut seems like a very weak lane to me, so it will be easy to pressure, easy to contest. And Chen won't have that much fun running around, I believe. He will need to defend and secure his Juggernaut's farm.
Yeah, this is also one of those things that's risky with the Chen pick, because you know there's going to be one less lane support. No matter how you do, like, he's always going to be, roaming around in the jungle or something like that. You have a Sand King offlane, which is not a hero that necessarily wins that many one-on-one matchups. Some of them are good, but Darkseer, well, he will get his farm. I mean, the Sand King can probably get levels, but the Darkseer will get most of the farm in this lane, and he's going to be very happy with that. The Spirit Breaker can start in the mid lane just to secure that DK doesn't have any troubles in the first couple of levels where he's weak against the Queen of Pain. And as for that offlane, like you were talking about, I mean, Razor versus Jug, it's only fun for the Jug if you have two supports who can enable you to go for those aggressive spins, but they don't really have that.
That actually may be really problematic, and it doesn't feel like he wants to swap lanes and try to stand against Doxia. He's accepting the fight, and it doesn't feel like Chilash would be able to do much on this lane. Both Warlock and Razor are quite tough kills, especially when you don't have enough lockdown, but there is already no fear of having control. And actually, here comes the first blood on Razor. With rotation from Nofia, they managed to burst down Razor quite fast. And I'm taking my words back. Chen actually managed to win the lane, and now Spirit Breaker is forced to rotate from mid lane to top lane.
Alright, that's an interesting turn of events. I was just letting my dog out of the room because she was getting crazy. But either way, I mean, like I said, it depends on which creeps you can get, and that Helga is actually causing so many issues. Misha is also taking a lot of time. He's going to be forced to go for the charge into the mid lane. He will commit for the charge, but it's not really going to do anything since they didn't know that it was coming, so Pikachu will just take a little bit of damage and then walk away. Does Region when brought on maybe? Well, it's Misha's lucky day, I suppose. Doesn't have to go back to base.
Oh, actually, picking up, and here comes another charge on Pikachu, and they know that there's no blink on Quo.
Oh, the Queen of Pain actually does not have any more mana left. Do they actually try to do anything with this? One bash comes out. Misha, is he going to be lucky? One more bash is all he needs. Let's see, does KeyArena always maybe going to be able to get one more hit off? 3 seconds for the charge. He needs to go very deep. He needs to lose the vision. Oh, no, he does not have vision long enough to go for the charge. He gets it off, though. He gets you? That's a Queen of Pain.
That was a very successful dive by Spirit Breaker. Pause.
I'm pretty sure Pikachu actually thought that he was safe. Like, I think he could have moved a little bit more up to the top area, like when he was under the tier 2 tower, and then avoid that vision from the charge. But I guess he just had faith that the Spirit Breaker would not have vision for long enough to commit for the charge. But Misha, just barely enough.
Yeah, that probably he also expected Spirit Breaker not to commit that much. He dove him quite deep, and meanwhile,
we all know what happens with our Spirit Breaker players.
Yeah,
they never back up. The only way back is by death. The only way back to Fountain is when you die.
Only a fast TP base available at some kind of but that's very rewarding most of the game, especially when you're pressuring Queen of Pain that much. She lost a lot of time while she was simply trying to juke against Spirit Breaker. He ran a very long way, which was, I don't know, I can't say that it was unnecessary, but there was no other way back. He tried to...
Yeah, I mean, he could, like, running down under the tier 2 tower wouldn't really have made him stop committing, because he's such a tanky hero, so he would easily be able to tank like 4 or 5 tower shots without worrying about it, and go for that kill. So, he did what he could. Could have maybe tried to work a little bit better with the juice to survive, but either way, he ends up dropping down, and like you said, that's the couple of minutes that the DK needs to just enable himself in the lane. Now that he's level 3, the Queen of Pain Shadow Strike doesn't really do anything in terms of harassing him anymore. He even went for the second point in it, but You have 2 points in Dragon spots. You have loads of regen on the Dragonite. He has most of the CS in the lane as well, so everything is going to be fine. Funnig is having a good time in his lane. The Sanking has a fairly surprising amount of CS without having anything like a Quelling Blade or anything like that, having 12 CS right now, but he's very low HP, so he will most likely have to go for a little quick trip back to base very, very soon, as like he's putting as much pressure as he possibly can.
Yeah, he's basically staying between tier 1 and tier 2, and unfortunately from the side of an Anji, the only hero who can probably punish that is Chen, and maybe soon we will see rotation on the Doxy, but the question is it really worth it? Oh, and here comes the 5-man.
Oh, holy
DC.
moly. That's they did say reboot, I guess, but that's a sign of the everyone is sitting in the same room, just, you know, bam, Ruder goes down, and then everyone is just gone. But like you said, Funnig, he's playing very greedy right now. A Chen rotation could very easily punish him, but right now he knew where the Chen was about like 30 seconds ago when he saw the move in the top lane for the first blood. So I'm sure he just feels like he's safe. And the best thing you can do as a Doxy against Sanking is just always try to have an Iron Shield on you at all points, and if you can keep the Sanking away from the creep wave just to make sure he cannot stack up those caustics and start blowing them in your face, then he's not going to have a good time. So Yoku, there's not really any creeps he can hit right now, so he'll probably just be like, okay, well, you won this round, I will be back.
And I will be stronger. Obviously from rotation from Chen, Funnig would be punished very easily, but question is about priorities. There is Razor, who is quite vulnerable at this moment. I wanted to see that Razor is stable on the lane, but on off lane it feels like you are much more exposed to the ganks from Dire jungle, especially Riva. They don't have any kind of a vision. They got only one ward near the shrine to see rotations from Chen to mid lane. Probably they wanted to defend Dragonite, but it feels like DK is not the one who should be.
I mean, I guess for the Chen, like the first Chen rotation could kind of just kill whether you go on the race or the DK, it's very likely you can kill either of them if you're lucky with the creep. He got the first blood, but the second kill that he's going to be able to get is going to be difficult, because first of all, right now he's only level 1, so he only has one creep active at a time, and I feel like the Razor is already getting to the point, like once the Warlock is level 3 and has a second point in Shadow Word, if he just has the Shadow Word available to heal the Razor, then I don't think any like duo of creeps from Nofia can secure kills. It's going to be tough at least. I mean, you know, level 2 spin can do a lot of damage if you get a full spin duration off, but Disruptor's damage is limited, and Chen's damage overall is limited unless you get the big boy creeps.
Yeah, that's also true. The question is what we will see from Chen at the very beginning. So it will be also a mech, probably. Which kind of a 5-man do you prefer, the M19 5-man or Anji? Because both teams probably will go for the same stuff. Doxy is also that kind of a hero who is building supportive items like Pipe, mech, and actually we will see Pipe on Funnig. I believe it's really.
Yeah, he goes mech Pipe before Blink every game, so that is his favorite build of choice. He actually goes for both of those items before he even gets the boots. So you know, he's committed for his items. He just goes for the Soul Ring and then he sits without boots the whole game until he has both a Hood of Defiance and a Mechanism. But I mean, it's a fairly scary timing. Like 13-14 minutes into the game, you have both a Hood as well as a Mechanism. That's some scary stuff. And you were asking about the Fireman. I kind of like the M19 Fireman a little bit more because I feel like both teams can push very early. But in terms of punishing the enemy from pushing, I think M19 with like a double Iron Shell initiation is going to have a much easier time punishing. Whereas Cyber Anji, they can push for sure, but they cannot really TP and rotate and punish people until they have, first of all, Static Storm on the Disruptor, and I don't even know if Static Storm is enough. I mean, they need like Static Storm, Sonic Wave available, and potentially even wait for the Blink and Yoku, which I doubt is going to be anytime soon. It's going to be not a good Blink timing. It's like, you know, maybe like 13, 14, 15 minutes.
Yep. I also value Golems quite high. quite a lot. Yet problem is for Anji that they get a pretty high cooldowns on import ultis like Static Storm or Epicenter or Sonic Wave, especially in the beginning of a game. Same problem comes for Warlock from side of M19, yet they got a DK ult and they will have probably very early mech.
Yeah,
Doxia,
I mean, the good thing about the
earlier.
good thing about M19 is it's only the golem, right? Like
Yeah.
you only really use the golem when it's like a full-on 5-on-5 fight, anyways. Whereas it feels like Anji, they can't get kills without using their ultimates, right? Whereas M19, they can still push and they can still get kills without using the golem. They don't need it. It's just like an extra to win the team fights. But in terms of like picking off people as well, they can still do it with the double iron shield and whatnot. But killing like a Razor, a Darkseer, a DK without using Sonic Wave, Epicenter, Static Storm, that's going to be fairly difficult.
Very problematic, yet I'm questioning myself about the item builds. I'm not that familiar with the DK Copier builds. With Razor, I know that mostly people go for drums, Sanjin, Yasha, this kind of stuff, a little bit of stuff, fast movement speed.
Yeah, Razor is one of those heroes that has a lot of builds right now. Some people like to go Midas. I believe in a game like this, you want to put as much pressure as possible. You don't want the game to drag on longer than it has to. You want to just, always be able to keep up the pressure. So I imagine it's going to be that old school drums S&Y into Aghanim's kind of build. Maybe he gets a BKB along the way. But that really depends on whether or not you're snowballing out of control or not. Like if you're snowballing, if you're on a roll, then you don't care about the BKB. You just want to go for the pushing power. But if you want to be safe, you can get a BKB as well. And as a DK, I believe most DKs actually get Midas no matter what nowadays. But they all go for the old school like armlet into BKB afterwards.
Maybe we will see some kind of a blink dagger. They got beyond the initiation now probably is the charge from Spirit Breaker, but it's not that reliable as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that the Darkseer, he's always the kind of Darkseer who gets a later blink than others would. You might get the blink on the DK instead, but otherwise, I guess they will at least do it so they have the double blink timing at the same time, around like 25 minutes or something like that. So we'll see if that's going to be happening. The game is finally going on as we were kind of running out of things to talk about in terms of item builds. Like, what item build is on Disruptor, guys? Okay, yeah, he's actually queuing up face boots, so we can actually talk about that. This guy's crazy.
Well, maybe not that crazy. Maybe there is some kind of a secret plan behind it. I don't know. Run away from charge.
Well, I mean, face boots is actually very popular on every hero right now because, I mean, it's just lane damage, right? You just hit people harder, but it just
you're
like...
a disruptor.
Yeah, you're a disruptor, and you kind of have a pretty sad mana pool in terms of using a Static Storm already, so committing for face boots, that means that you have to also get like more small items like earn +1 to be able to sustain your mana. So it's a greedy item build, at least. Very greedy.
Problem is that when he will get it, getting brown boots for supports is quite a big of an issue for most of the supports and getting face boots. He's not getting wards. He's like no fear, you're the position 5 this game. Buy the wards. You're a Chen, you're farming in the jungle. Get my wards. And he's like, I need my items. I need my Aghanims. But we'll see what happens. No fear is making rotation to the bottom lane with that Chen, Centaur, and Satire available. Not necessarily the best kill duo thing, but they can do a lot of damage if they get a stun set up. But no, they missed the burst strike from the Sand King. It looks like, okay, a nice 2-man Centaur stomp at least. Will keep them away from getting a counter kill on Yoku, but the creep's going to be down on half HP, and they didn't really get the kind of setup they were hoping for. Spirit Breaker is running around all the time. He touched all Pikachu, but he got Blink. So did you say? Right.
But he doesn't want to use it. I mean, I guess he has to use this shrine no matter what, so he might not blink, but well, saving 60 mana. Gotta save the mana. I guess it's fine. I mean, you get full HP anyway, so who cares about a couple of hits. As long as Misha is not like a god who gets double bash off, then there was no way that he would die there, right?
That's actually quite true, but finally there is
Darks here. Force strike into Centaurs on that try to burst him down. Do they have enough damage? And they do have enough damage, so no fear. He makes the rotation that failed, he turns the same rotation into a kill. So, you know, you just gotta be patient, you just gotta wait a few seconds and then go for the exact same move, and it works the second time.
Yeah, they they saw the Spirit Breaker, this crazy space cow was running around mid lane. They know that there is no charge, and even if there is, won't be anytime soon. And meanwhile, on the top lane, ILTV was abandoned by his Warlock and got granted the capacity to base. Alone.
He went for the bound. He went for the. No, he didn't even pick up the boundary. He went for the enemy's boundary. Goddamn support players, right? Like you need them, and then they're on their way to get up on it. Classic. Poor ILTW dropping down, but they might try and make a move on the drop now. At least a little bit of damage, tap this damage. Let's see, do they get a few bashes off? They need a good bash if they want to get this kill, or they're just going to run him down and let the static link do the job. Indeed, that is going to be more than enough for ILTW. He stabs 94 damage from that Juggernaut, and well, he just needs a little tap, a little stun, and then Sedor is going to be taken down. As that is definitely what the Razor needed. Last hit-wise, they're very even. He just needed to, you know, get back in the lane.
What is quite interesting, the Dragon Knight is doing so much better on the lane after he managed to fully out the lane.
Yeah, Pikachu has pretty much been left on his own in this mid lane as well. I mean, Chen has been top, and then he went for the bottom area. He's never really visited the mid lane, but I guess like we talked about, it's a DK. Like, what are you actually gonna do to him as a Chen, right?
Yeah, that's the problem, and probably shutting down Finding Curse almost completely without mana. Got is an easy target, and delaying his mech actually quite important, yet he's going for
the Hood of Defiance.
good first, and he's running around away. If there is no troll on Chen, doing just fine. Yet Hood is the first item probably. Pick up, there is a lot of magical damage from the side of Anji, and follow up or strike.
Like they're going to jump him. He doesn't have the Hood just yet, even though he has enough mana enough gold to actually buy it, but he does not have the magic resistance right now, so it's going to be burst down very easily. Nice time to kill him. But like you said, I mean, Funnicky likes to go for this build, and apart from other Darkseer players, he is much more active in the early game than others would be. He would make those TP rotations. He likes to make rotations to the mid lane as well, so that's why he goes for tanky build instead of the classic, like, okay, I'll AFK farm for 12 minutes and then I'll get a mech and we push together. He wants to be a little bit more involved in the fights, and with that Hood, he's going to be very, very difficult to kill, at least for anyone but the Sonic Wave as well as the Omni Slash, which is still going to do a lot of damage. We'll go back to the bottom lane for now, after dropping down. The top tower is going to be maybe under siege soon. There's a charge on the Juggernaut. Do they commit for it? Let's see. Misha. Oh, he actually runs out the door, maybe a little bit out of position as he gets hit by one bash, another bash. Do we get it? Do we get it?
Jedi manages to escape on a very low HP, yet he got a Mango, he got Aquila, so originating mana is not an issue. No fear. Moved to
alright, Misha is crazy. He actually doesn't even care, but still no lucky double bashes or anything like that. And now ILTW may be a little bit too deep under the south. He does have a TP available. We'll go for the TP back at 1 more second to go before they can go for the charge. There's no glimpse right now, as they already used that beforehand. He got healed up by the Warlock, so everything is good. Everything is jolly. No one will be punished here. Posting a couple of TP rotations, but that was getting dangerously close to being sad. I mean, the Queen of Things could have made a rotation of it, like, and punished that, but he was busy regenerating up, and now Pikachu into the mid lane and straight down to half HP with a couple of clicks from Nyx. He may be a little bit in danger. He does have the blink available, and looks like Misha will finally show some restraint and not go for the dive.
Going down there, strike with the big champion. No fear glimpse. That's DK.
Those guys have a little bit of a troublesome situation. That's a lot of people. Very nice shots. Misha keeping the Yoku away from the tanking as well, but they will get the burst strike off, and they commit the Sonic Wave as well. They really want to get those kills. They're trying to block Misha as well. He's going to be kept in control, and it looks like the Shadow Strike will do the work no matter what. Muriel might have tried to go for deny, not going to happen. Yoku goes in, gets the episode off. He's going to get the kill on the Warlock as well. He goes invisible, but the vacuum will stop that from happening, and Yoku will be taken down slowly but surely. 1 for 3 trade-off right now. In the meantime, the escape happened from Novi and Pikachu, as That is a very big win for the side of Cyber Anji, much needed as well.
Yeah, -3, they managed to kill DK, who was having quite a fun time playing well on top lane. Misha, Annoying, Sidoi. But the problem was for M19, it felt like Miriel could have probably saved Misha from the depth. Yeah, Shadow Word is healing quite a lot, but very slow. There was a lot of taking damage.
Yeah, I didn't actually see if he tried to go for the deny, but it looked like he was trying to deny, but failed to do so. It would have been big if you actually got the deny off, because obviously you can die when people get Shadow Strike, which is also another reason why it's maybe a little bit dangerous to use the Shadow Strike on the Spirit Breaker when he's that low anyways, like, because you set up for the possibility of him being denied, right?
Yep.
But
also the dives from Anji under the mid tower. They know that there is no one from M19 around, and they were already 5 men there. So TPs 1 by 1 always causes a feed train.
Yeah, you know, the glimpse, you know that the Warlock is not level 6, you know the Spirit Breaker doesn't have his ultimate right now, and if the DK is the first one to kill, then everything's good to go. Now they go for smoke damage, they're gonna jump on the Tuna chain, he goes for TP, or Blink, sorry, and he's fly with the Static Storm just leading into his escape, so the hand up charge comes out from Nofia as well. Now another charge from Misha onto Nofia, then Typical makes it very deep on the 1000 a little bit too much damage for him to enjoy, as the Anji will bring down Nofia finally. They get the mechanism still coming up. Got a mechanism here? Felt like a mechanism. Nix, jumped on. Once again, Yoku goes to the bar track. Pikachu with the Sonic Ray. They get the kill on DK finally. The Spirit Breaker gets taken down. I also probably get glimpse back into the tier 1 tower. Are they going to bring down Sidoi? Ends up losing his life going for that aggressive spin. But he is going to set up for 2 more kills for the side of Cyber Anji, as it's going to be a 4-for-2 trade-off in the end.
What was very important for Anji, we all know that both Warlock and Disruptor, they are heavily relying on their early level 6, and with putting Warlock on the offlane, they basically cut off any possibility for him to catch up, and he was stuck there, literally. He couldn't leave Razor alone, he couldn't farm up. That resulted in a lot of lost fights. If he got golems much earlier, I think that things would have been much better for M19. But maybe that was the wrong call. We'll go in and agree.
Yeah, well, right now it just feels like Cyber Anji. I mean, they're doing what we were talking about. They once they have all of the ultimates available, they go in, they pick a fight with the ultimates, and then they win the fight. Because they can actually kill people with all of those ultimates. They have the blink on Yoku now as well, so they can continue putting the pressure up. But the Warlock, I mean, you have the blink on the Sand King, a hero that normally does not get that early of blink timing on the off lane. And you still don't have level 6 right now. You still don't have the gold, you still don't have the mechanism in the dark team. There's so many things that M19 needs to be able to take these team fights. Now LCW in the bottom lane will be picked off by Chuvaz, making a smoke move with the rest of the team. They go for 1 by 1 once again, as Misha is going to be the next one that gets found. Can they get vision for a glimpse? Perhaps. No, they don't have any vision deep in the woods, so they'll just go back. They'll go for the push instead, and 2 more kills down that drain.
Sand King managed to get his Blink Dagger quite early. He also got Soul Ring and Tranquil Boots. That's actually quite neat. Yet they committed Epicenter for the kill, but they also will take down tier 1 and probably... and actually here comes the rotation from M19. They want to pick a fight. They got golems. So why not? There is no Sonic Wave, there is no Epicenter. No Static Storm yet.
Doesn't make any work. Nice action. I need to go for a little bit of flashing. Nofia is going to be jumped on. He gets hit by that ultimate from the Spirit Breaker. They get a nice golem off as well. Nofia is going to be able to interrupt. So Doi actually gets sent back to the base. Alright, well, no way to stop that from happening. Just Chen with the last dying breath, he sends back the Juggernaut to his base, so he at least makes sure that they committed all of those ultimates, and all they get is a little small Chen and a couple of creeps, of course. Maybe they get the tier 1 tower as well, but looks like Cyber Anji, they're going to be content defending this. They have the Static Storm available in 7 seconds, and Yoku is going to get a little bit annoyed, but he gets stunned up. They have the Sentinel put in place already, and Yoku is going to be taken down slowly. Almost gets out, but will be killed. Static Storm is available now from the Disruptor. He's going to get in and try to get it off, but he's a little careful. Fireback comes out from the tanking as well. They want to win this fight. They want to commit forward. Healing Water is going to be targeted. life of the DK is going to be lost, trying to go for that healing one. In the meantime, Misha goes for a charge into the mid lane, and that looks like it's going to be the end of the fight. In the end of the day, that's actually M19 victory. I mean, sure that you lose DK because he's maybe a little bit overzealous trying to get a healing ward on the tower, but you force a buyback, you get a couple of kills.
That's actually quite neat, but they didn't manage to force down tier 1 at all. And what's really important for Anji, they know that there are no golems. So why they should care? They can just 5-man once again. They got Sonic Whip, they got Epicenter, they got all their ults. Time to take more towers and open up the space in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, they just feel confident. They feel like they don't have to give up any towers, and well, they're correct. As long as they're all alive, there's no need for them to give up a tower. The only reason the Sanking even wanted to go for the buyback is that they only needed about like 20 or 30 seconds before they had all of their ults available in that fight in the beginning. He ends up being picked off, and then he's like, okay, I'll just go for the buyback. I don't want to lose my life and give up the tower. So, at least they keep the tower alive. Now they go for another smoke around, as the Sanking is going to move into position with the static storm from Dubai. Let's see if they get a good combo off. Go for a jump here. Pikachu is going to be charged by the Spirit Breaker. Eel comes out. Getting control. Yoku goes and tries to go for power strike. Hits the power strike out to Nick. He's trying to hide himself, but he's going to be taken down as the recall is not going to be happening in time. The tank starts dropping down. Nick's still alive. He's going for Pikachu next. It's the Queen of Pain will be controlled and killed. Surge comes out on the DK. They're trying to go further, but they know that, well, Nick is a little bit too low to dive into the Villain Tower right now. But finally, M19, they win a fight, and that's the pipe in the Darkseer. He just picked up the pipe in that fight, and so much damage being absorbed because of that was enough to just keep them alive.
There was no Omnislash in this fight. There was no Epicenter also. They managed to bust down Yoku quite fast, and it felt like both supports from side of Anji were quite sloppy.
Yeah, it felt a little bit weird that Yoku actually blinked in without using the Epicenter first. That felt a little bit odd. Like he went for the blink just to go for a secured bar strike onto the Dragonite. Sometimes that's fine. Like you go for a bar strike just to start the fight, and then you go away, and then you wait for the next bar strike to go for the Epicenter. But it felt like in that situation he was on the high ground and he had fairly good vision of the DK, so he could just go for the Epicenter. But he chose not to, and he ends up paying with his life.
Yeah, there was a great static storm by Chuvash, yet there was no follow-up initiation on Pikachu happened too early, so I don't know, man. It seemed like a sad fight for M19, and even more of a sad news for Anji, because there were no golems, almost no ults from side of M19, and if they're managing to win without golems, what is going to happen when they will get them? Pipe is finally up. Sanking is not in charge anymore. His Epicenter almost deals no damage, so reliable sources of damage there is Juggernaut and Queen of Pain with pure damage in the LFG score. Yeah,
I like the pipe in that fight a lot. The static storm got completely mitigated just because of that pipe just absorbing all of that damage, so did a lot of work. And obviously once Funnick completes his mechanism, which is his next item, that's going to be a lot of sustain. That's about like 500-600 HP that he gives to everyone on his team in the middle of the fight, which is quite a lot. So it's going to be big. Race in the meantime trying to get his Sanj and Yash up and running with a Dragon Lance on top of that, so lots of tankiness on this guy, having the Sanj up. Going for Smoke Gang. DKB is going to be the next item on the DK as well. See what else. Nothing fancy. The Spirit Breaker trying to get a Midas. That's for Cyber Anji. Eel set on the Sanking. Queen of Pain has Eels and Veil. Couple of defensive items. Juggernaut is trying to go for the you can see the one they find with this very committed Smoke Gang, but they were smoked for a good 30 seconds, and if a Disruptor is the only one that gets caught off, I'm sure they're going to be fine. In the meantime, M19 in the bottom, and Funnick, he knows that this is not going to be a Queen of Pain who's on his own, but they want to actually go for this jump. They go for the vacuum into the charge. They almost get the ultimate off. That looked like it could have been a big fight to get that Queen of Pain. They do not get the Queen of Pain kill, but they will get the Yoku kill, as Yoku, he felt like he had to go in and help the Queen of Pain, but the Queen of Pain was fine, and sadly Yoku he ends up losing his life for nothing.
Traded bot for an off lane. I wanted to say that was some kind of a wasted smoke from M19, and while Anji were sure that Josh was dying on top lane, they decided to burst down Funnick, but burst down Funny with their lineup.
Burst down Funny?
With
What?
Pipe.
Are you
Pipe.
crazy?
Yeah, I mean, like, it seems like a very impossible idea so far. Doxy is quite tanky, he got a lot of magical resistance. Probably they should have committed something like Omni Slash, but...
Yeah, that's when,
that's
when it gets so awkward for Cyber Anji, because the thing is, they can kill pretty much any of the 3 cores inside of M19, but to kill one of them, they have to use all of their big ults, and to kill all 3 of them, they use the same ults, because all of the ults is AoE, right? But you don't want to use all of your AoE ults for one guy. You want to use them when they're grouped up, not when he's like alone on the map on a Darkseer, right?
Yep. Sunday will be Diffusion Blade up on Juggernaut. He's given spell and he's got quite of a build.
That's the aggressive build. Just trying to get as much damage as possible as early as possible. I'm not sure if I like it. I mean, it's fine. It can work out. You get a lot of damage now with the Diffusion Blade being completed early. It's very good against the Darkseer, of course, because that means you can take away the Surge. So, no problem. They get a kill on the Spirit Brigade, they get a tier 1 on the top in the meantime, and it looks like they might be considering picking a fight here. No.
There is already a double TP from Chiwash. They don't want to overextend, they take their time.
Playing it.
Spirit Breaker. Yeah, they're playing South, their golems, there was a soon respawn on FC, and actually Spirit Breaker is going for Handoff Midas. There is no Hand of Midas on Dragon Knight though, but secure a bit of items later stages of the game is always nice. As cranking out the Razor, BKB, that's a dead Chivash.
Okay, committing the BKB for that. Well, I mean, you know, either you go for the BKB or you don't get the kill because you get glimpse back, so I guess it's like, you know, pick your poison, right? Do you not want the kill and keep your 10-second BKB, or do you get the kill and, you know, just go for a tower? And it looks like he just chose to go for the tower because, you know, one person being missing means that the tower will most likely fall without any issues. They could maybe pick a fight, but looks like Cyber Anji, they know that the tower is going to be gone before the Tripper can get into position, so they just decide to use this time to farm as much as possible. That's going to be the case. Also, the double damage on the Dragonite is going to be very, very annoying. We'll go for the tier 2 tower as well, try and do a little bit of tip damage. Maybe they will commit for this. The Yellow Dragon form is only up for the next 20-ish seconds. They will have to be a little bit careful.
And they're setting to back off from these kind of things. I actually see 2k gold on Queen of Playing. Question is what we will see. Will it be some kind of actually what we will see? Because I'm trying to figure out what may it be, maybe some kind of a Lincoln Sphere or BKB, but it doesn't really help against Warlock and Spirit Breaker. You're getting locked down anyway.
Well, I like the Lincoln Sphere. I mean, you know, you stop the charge. You know if they have vision on you, you try to charge, of course. You stop the ultimate from happening, you stop the static link, you stop the Dragonite's Dragon Tail stun, so Lincoln Sphere has a lot of merit. Also, like, items like Shiva's got BKB, but it kind of feels like, it feels like BKB is going to be, it's not an item you really want on Queen of Pain, even though it's a good BKB game, but it's just because, well, you get BKB, use 4k gold on it, and then you still have the static link, you still have the golem, and you still have the ultimate from the Spirit Breaker, so you don't really want to commit for an item that doesn't solve all of the issues. Like, if you go for BKB, you want it to solve everything, right?
I actually think that Shiva's got probably going to be the best choice, gives a little bit of armor and also stops M19 from chasing you. Oh, she comes over to let Phonic.
Sonic comes out there really committing to this kill, but Phonic once again proving that that Pipe Plus mechanism is keeping him very, very tanky. They get the kill on the Juggernaut once the Omni Slash ended. Now they're going to go for the KeyArena group. They get the kill on Chivash as well. He tries to get sent back with the recall from Nofia, or is it even recall? I can't even remember. Test of Fate. I don't know why I call it recall actually, but I think like the application is called recall or something. It's you know, Test of Fate, that's the spell. And now Yoku trying to escape this difficult situation. He does get the blink away by using that stance on nicely, and looks like he's going to be fine. They go for another charge into the top lane, and that's the cleanup crew for the creeps, but I'm sure he will just use the Test of Fate to bring them back home, and yeah, looks like that's going to be the case. The annoying thing about the Test of Fate in terms of playing against it is actually that damage does not cancel it.
Yeah, it's not like a couple.
It's not like a cuddle
recall.
where you just hit him with anything and then he's dead. It's like, you know, once it's used, he's going back home.
Yeah, actually Nofia is doing quite a lot of a job. He managed to save either Quap on Juggernaut in the bottom lane before, where it was a nation by M19. See some kind of a new items. There will be two. Again, Septichivash is actually rushing Ags. Great idea. There are plenty of items which you don't want the used side of M19. Both BKBs on Dicky and Richter.
Yeah.
Be quite soon.
Well, we have the Mechanism on Chen. We have the Acronyms as the next big item he's going to go for. Roku, maybe a little bit of danger. He's trying to get himself out of it. Like he's pick up that. He's trying to keep alive, but Nofia may be a little bit too helpful for his teammate, and he ends up losing his own life as well as they lose two on the side of Anji. Regardless, either way, going back to what you were talking about, I actually like the Acronyms a lot on Disrupt. I feel like in a game where you rely on your ultimates anyways, then Acronyms is definitely the first item you want on Disrupt. It's a late item to get, but if you go for like 4-star Glimmer Cape and stuff, it feels like it's awkward because you rely on just that big wombo combo anyways. So might as well just make the wombo combo better, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that in this minute 27 enemies are on your high ground and you get chance. Where is the time to get the
DK, you have the level 3 Elder Dragon form, so he's going to do a lot of siege damage. And how do they stop this guy? Oh, the goes in. This might be a little bit dangerous, trying to keep him locked down. They need to try and keep it up. They don't have the ultimate yet on this turret, so they do not have the level strike right now. That's Misha. Yoku gets back and he gets done up with the Dragon Shot and the Dragon Shot. BKB gets popped. The heal comes out from the Chen, but Nofia cannot keep Yoku alive, and Yoku's going to be down for 50 seconds without buyback available. The BKB still doing work. The other Dragon Bomb still being up and doing so much work. Yoku not be able to do anything for his team, so going to take it down on the jug. Nofia on the Chen dies as well. The Green Pain goes in with that BKB being popped. He finally gets the kill on the Dragon Knight, but I mean, he did so much work before dying, and they will still be able to get the tier 3 tower as Pikachu, no more ultimates available, no Static Storm, no Sonic Wave, and that means there's no hope to keep this tower or the racks alive, as there's no way that M19 will stop right now. Misha might be picked off if he's not careful. Vacuum comes out. The charge is not going to be able to come up before he dies. Shadow Strike bringing him down. The Metarax will be taken down, and that's going to be good enough for M19. They'll back themselves up. ILPW gets glimpsed back before he ends up just passing by the kinetic field and once again move back towards his base. So very, very big fight for the side of M19. Very big fight.
Yeah, they managed to burst down melee Rexes. Ranged barracks are almost dying to the catapults. Oh, Yoku is fighting the card, but card is winning. Ranged Rexes dropped.
The Sand King is not a hero that wants to fight that war. This is like the one war that is like the Sand King, as godly as he is at clearing creep waves. That fight is the one fight he does not want to take against the goddamn catapult. He's
yeah,
like, please, team.
What was really important for M19 that they managed to keep Sidoi constantly in stunts. First was Vacuum, I think, then there was Dragon Tail, and then there was a Golem drop right on his head. He didn't manage even to Omni Slash yet. I'm not sure. He probably didn't believe that there will be any kind of escape after that. Also, there are golems, a lot of creeps, a lot of sustain. So he just Blade Fury tried to run away, didn't work out.
And that's why I actually feel like Warlock is such a good and underrated hero against Juggernaut, because usually how you play a good Jug is like you go in for your spin when you don't have your plane, you go for your spin, you go for that little cheeky initiation, and once the spin ends you go straight into the Omni Slash. But a good Warlock player, you wait for the spin to be almost over, and then you use the Golem so that the stun still lasts when the spin ends, and then you can follow up with another stun easily without him being able to Manta Dodge or Omni Slash or anything like that. You know, straight up into death.
Yep, here comes a little base race straight for towers. There is Decay, up 3 Elder Dragon form, and question is, will Anji pick a fight? Nofia is already there. He's ready to TP anyone out. Boy running back to his base. Maybe Roche?
He's going to be charged now. Well, he's trying his very best at committing trying to be a little bit greedy, but now he's going to be jumped on by Nyx. He's going to be sent back with that test of faith. In the meantime, they try to go on Nofia. Oh, okay, Funnig. Very, very slow with that reaction going for the vacuum. Not sure what he was thinking about that, but I guess sometimes you gotta have those great brain lag spikes once in a while. You can't always perform like a god, and he's been doing well the whole game. So the first, like, maybe a little bit slow move there, not catching the chin. But that happens, that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to get some bits here and there. Yet, what's actually quite funny that the Drops is much closer to Aghanim Scepter than Chen, who got all the possibilities to farm in the jungle.
I told you in the beginning that no fear was the word, bitch. And this is the truth. Chuvash is like, this is my Aghanim. Wait, did he sell something?
Yeah, but
did he sell a small, like, it feels like he sold a wand or something.
It
right
looks empty. Looks empty. The inventory looks very empty for Disruptor. But it's extremely important to get this static zone with Aghanim Stem to smoke and welcome their opponents with a brand new item for Disruptor.
Yeah. I feel like this is necessary because they're not gonna kill, like, the Dragonite with 3k HP, BKB, almost an AC. They're not gonna kill him if he gets the BKB off. That's impossible. So they need that Aghanim static storm to be able to do anything in this game anymore. And let's see, they smoke up, they move up to the high ground, they try to find someone, and let's see, I'll take double, Dragonite to get the static storm off. Gotta get a kill, Wall is going to take it down first. So much work against Snake, and they will be able to barely bring him down. Now let's see, back to the straight from the dark spear, but is this good enough? Get the kill on no fear, double kill out the country, still alive, gets his BKB off nice, and he's going to just go to work. Try to bring down everyone, one-man army, but he's not having any vision for Yoku. Now the door is going to be charged down as, okay, ICW does not care. The maim slow from the Sanjin Jasha and just the superior movement speed keeps him off of that goddamn Juggernaut, but Yoku will keep away from the Juggernaut.
Oh, here comes the vacuum, but he got Blink Dagger. He will be completely fine. Oh, here comes the charge, but he got Borrow Strike, he got used. Like, not really caring about this kind of things.
Get back!
That's actually quite funny, but in the later stages of the game, mostly invisibility means immunity, there is not that much slots, and I actually didn't keep an eye on that, but I managed to burst down Muriel as the first target in the fight, and that was
the guy holding all the sentry walls in the whole game, right? But I guess most likely the Spirit Breaker will finish his Heaven's Halberd, very big item to pick up to make sure that the Queen of Pain, once he gets that Bloodthorn up and running, which is his next item, he's not going to be able to do any right-click damage whatsoever. And just generally having more HP and evasion is always very, very nice. Vision 4 here, just making sure that you can tank a lot of spells for your team. And I imagine he will pick up the Gem afterwards. So your Solar Crest is done on the Warlock. DK, that AC, just 300 gold to go. They're going for the Roshan now as well. Guardian Grease in the dark here with the Blink. Tracer, almost a Scotty. So much tankiness inside of M19. And when we look at Cyber Anji, almost a 4-star from the Sand King. Well, the Queen of Fate is trying to get that Orchid, but I don't know. I understand that the Queen of Pain has to go for right click, but I'm not sure if Orchid is the right click item to go for this game.
Probably would have loved to see something like Maelstrom, maybe. Oh, Chuvash! Oh, that's an unfortunate.
Well, not nice enough. I mean, you know, he got vision of the whole enemy team for 2 seconds and then died.
And maybe that it's a big problems for Anji. They're trying to run away. Just to save, don't fear tipping out. Here comes the stun and wasted BKB.
Alright, well, that's a dead Disruptor, that's a dead healing ward as well. Yoku's going to go in the backlines, maybe just try and cut the creep wave, but M19 they don't even care. Like they don't give a damn. They're not pushing high ground right now, they're just using this to secure that they get Roshan for free. They use the BKB on the Dragonite as well, so they don't really have any grand wish to push high ground right now. They can wait for the next Yellow Dragon form and then go. Yoku is getting charged by Misha. They don't want to commit forward, they just want to make sure they had vision of that Sand King is. The Sand King is the guy they want to see because he's the last one who can initiate and stop this Roshan from happening. But Aegis is in the hands of the Racer now. Yes, that Scotty completed in 1000 gold as well, so I imagine they will just take a couple of minutes, finish the Scotty, get that 3k HP on the Racer as well as the DK, and with an Aegis, I don't see how this is in. I don't see how Cyber Anji can take these fights anymore. I feel like they're behind the net worth. They are about 7,000 gold behind right now, and also the itemization of the Queen of Pain just feels like it feels like these items does not win him the game. Like, if you had a Lincoln Spear and then went for Mjolnir instead of the Orchid, I feel like it would have been okay. You could do a decent amount of damage, but I don't feel like BKB into Orchid is going to make him able to do that much damage in the fights.
I guess his main purpose is not to deal a lot of damage, yet who, if not Pikachu, that's the problem. But his plan was probably to jump on Muriel all the time, shut him up with Orchid, try to burst him down with some kind of a follow-up as Epicenter tanking Static Storm. Yet it feels like Disruptor now is the place to...
Yeah, it feels like you're just asking to rush nicely. Can you please carry the game, dude? You know, I mean, can you just carry the game? It's simple, man. Just carry the game for us. And let's see if we can do that. We have a 2-man Warlock coming up. Static Storm comes out on top. Sonic Wave on top. Warlock gets picked up as the first one. Looks like that's going to be the second one dropping down. Nyx very much in trouble. The hand-up guard comes out from the side. No PM. Let's see if Juggernaut input dropping down as well. It was a very, very nice combo from the side of Anji, but it's maybe just a little bit too late to get that kind of combo, as both LTW and Nyx, they both survived. They're way too tanky. I mean, they were in the middle of all of that heat, but they just don't die. And now the Disruptor is dead, the Chen is dead, the Juggernaut is dead, and Pikachu with no Sonic Wave, no BKB, and only an Epicenter available on Yoku. I don't know what they can do to stop this. The Rax in the top lane will be taken down, and the Rax in the bottom lane may not be in danger just yet because there's a tier 2 tower standing in the way, but everything else is going to be taken down.
Yeah, time for M19 to chill a bit, get some items, finally let the Warlock survive. Actually, there are 5 sentries on Warlock. You know, it's some kind of people are pressing.
It kind of feels
like
Goku is not in this game, honestly.
Yeah,
because
like
every single time they have like a quote unquote good fight, they get a nice Static Storm, they kill a few people with a Sonic Wave, but we haven't seen in like the last 3 fights that went well and the last 3 fights that went bad. None of those fights we've seen in Epicenter.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Probably this kind of an issue when you're hoping for some kind of an amazing 5-man Epicenter, but Yoko, you're not in the place to wait. You just need to do
like
something.
Epicenter to follow up the Static Storm. You know, just do some damage with it. Like, I mean, kill one person with the Epicenter. Kill the Darkseid a little bit faster in that Static Storm, perhaps. Like, anything would have been useful in that fight, because a spell is only as useful as actually using it, right?
Yeah, and without Epicenter tanking, like, of course you can make an amazing Warrior Strikes. Nobody is arguing with that. Yet, here comes the ambush.
This is where the is something big, but they are going to have to do this funny thing in the first person and they go on, and let's see LTW do this. And the time is actually called something very critical. They don't take too much damage. It's all right now. Miro is going to be able to spot this time around, another blow him off the float, and let's see. Yoku gets taken down with tanking, and here comes the 2 men in charge, LTW and Nyx. The big boys, they bring down 3 on the side of Anji. Omnislash comes up, but the boys' Omnislash is just sad to look at. It doesn't even touch them. GG gets called as the only one they can bring down reliably is the Black.
That's really unfortunate. Yet the burst is down Warlock after he got his golems off. Sidoi joined the fight too late, not enough damage, Chen in the team, and 40 minutes the game.
It felt like this was pretty much what I was thinking about in terms of like, well, Anji's lineup,